So, how did I know that my husband was the one? Plot twist, I didn't. Let's get into it. Hey beautiful, welcome back to our channel. My name is Jumoke Win and I'm one half of When I Love. My husband and I, we coach single Christian women to meet, date, and marry eligible Christian men. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, make sure that you do subscribe and you hit that bell so that you can get more great content. Okay, as far as my husband and I, if you don't know, I was single for 6 years. I got married in 6 months. My husband and I, we married in 6 months. A lot of people think that, oh my gosh, that's so soon. How did you know he was the one? You got to spend this amount of time with each other. And everyone's love story is different. I don't think that there is a timeline that people need to have in order to have a successful marriage, because my husband and I can tell you for sure, we've been married for almost a few years now, and we are very happy. If you ask my husband, he'll tell you that we should have married sooner, in 4 months. So it's not about the length of time that you've known each other, but you do have to have a certain level of maturity and a certain level of preparation to be able to make that decision. So I'm going to tell you how I knew that my husband was the one in this video. And I knew my husband was the one simply because he just made sense. It was just logically, my husband made sense. And when I say logically, because a lot of women, they go into dating and they're looking for who's going to complete me. How do I feel? Do I feel like I'm in love with this person? And we don't think that's a wise approach to take when it comes to getting married and a life partner. Okay, so it's really, we don't have to over spiritualize or romanticize getting to the altar. You just have to have a few things in mind, which my husband and I, we did. The first thing is that we had the same values. This is super big. I think it was by the third date, my husband took me on 4 different dates in 1 week. Yes, that man was chasing me down. And when a man knows, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but a man knows when he knows. He doesn't need 10 years of dragging his feet. If that man is ready for marriage and he has found a woman that he can marry, he doesn't need to take forever. Now, this does not mean that every man is going to marry you in 6 months just because you're their dream girl. That's not what I'm saying at all. But men know relatively quickly who you are to them. They don't need years to make a decision about who you are to them. And who you are to them is more like a decision versus is he going to marry you tomorrow, right? Everyone's circumstances is different. But by the third date, we started to discuss different things, and it was almost like I was talking to myself. Like, it's, oh, I want this. Oh yeah, me too. Oh, I want this. And it's, wait, who are you? That's the same thing that I want. And while we were dating, we realized that we wanted, at least at the time, just fundamentally, we had 80% of the same vision, values, and the other 20% we were able to sort it out, because you're not always going to be the same person. And that 20% we were able to smooth it out. Okay, come to agreement, come to a mutual understanding. But we had similar values. We were both family oriented. We both wanted to raise a family in the same way. We both wanted to have a big family. We both valued growth and upward mobility. And we just had, even when it came to masculine and feminine dynamics, when it came to headship and submission, we have the same views when it came to that. So it just meshed. Another thing is that my husband had the character of the type of man that I wanted. We had the same values, but he also had good character. And a lot of women, they need to get into the habit of non-verbally vetting men and take yourself out of the picture, because too many women, because they are dating in a way that they are so caught up with, they're so caught up with the end goal, and they're so caught up with being emotionally attached to this man, they can't see what's in front of them, right? You need to be able to lean back and to just observe that man's character. And a man's character is, who is he even when you're not there? For my husband, I knew the type of man that he was simply by how he was leading his own life. What was he doing in his life before I got there? How does he move? What is his character behind closed doors? What is his character when it comes to other people? How does he treat other people? How does he treat his family? these things will tell you more than just what do I want from him. And because he's so high and he's fine, I want him to be what I want him to be. No, you can't hide character. It's either the person has good character or they don't. The next thing is why I knew how I knew my husband was the one was because he treated me like a baby girl. Okay? And because he saw that I was his dream girl, he saw that I was a woman that he really wanted. He treated me very well. He took me out. He spoke kindly to me. And even when it came to disagreements, he has never raised his voice at me. Just how he treated me in general was very loving, very tender. And that was just what I was looking for. He didn't mistreat me. That's, again, just very basic. Like, he took me on dates. He paid for them all. He called me every day. He texted me. He called or texted me every single day after that. We had conversations. They treat me well, right? And then lastly is that he met all of my high preferences. Oh no, second to last, he met all of my high preferences. So I had high and low preferences and he met those. Like, I wanted a man who was tall. That was my high preference. Obviously I get it, whatever. But ultimately my husband was tall. He was handsome. Now, I had low preferences, things like ethnicity. He's not Nigerian, but I thought he was. But he's very open and he's cultural, and he has embraced my own culture. He eats my people's food. When we go to my mama's house, he eats her food. So he's very open in general to my culture. Even our daughter's name is Yoruba. He's very open. So it didn't really matter as much. Another thing, things like skin complexion. I had a low preference for maybe darker skinned men, but whatever. He's tall, dark, and handsome, dark enough. And he was attractive to me. And yeah, so I didn't really have many preferences, but he met those few preferences that I did want. And lastly, the Lord was directing our story, which is probably one of the biggest signs. Now, the Lord didn't tell me that my husband was the one. You have to marry him. This is your husband, because I already fell into that deception before. But as my husband and I we were getting to know each other, we did have some bumps in the road. And when I would come back to the Lord would give me divine instructions on how to deal with the situation. And I knew that the Lord was vouching on my husband's behalf to me. Even when we had certain clashes, I'm like, I don't really know how to deal with this issue. The Lord was there. The Lord was there. And as I'm praying, I did feel a sense of peace from the Lord. I did feel a sense of direction from the Lord. The Lord was in our love story. So all those things combined, how did I know he was the one? I don't think you ever fully know if someone is the one, because I don't believe in that concept anymore. But I do think that God positions you in front of people who will be a good candidate for you in this season of your life. That would be a good candidate for you to come together to do kingdom work. So that is what our story was. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.